Hey fellow modelers, we are checking out I wouldn't say a new vehicle from Hasegawa. It's the Lancia Super Delta. It's the 1992 WRC Makes Champion. This is more of it could be an original, but it may be more of an official re-release or restock of the same kit, same parts, decals, tooling, etc., stuff like that. It's hard to tell because based on the number, based on research of the number, but this is one of the cooler cars that I think have ever been made. I actually race one of these. I race radio control cars as well, rally, and this is the same exact body I use, the Delta. I like that it has short overhang in front and rear. I like that it's kind of flat. It's a very cool car, and it's fast. And this one's fast. It's just a super cool looking car. So we have a little bit of information on the side here about it. It is part number 25015. Sorry if you can't see that. On this side here, there's different versions of the car with the aero discs on the front for brake cooling. Typically, they run those when it's hotter or when there's a lot of tarmac racing, where the tires just have so much grip that it builds up heat in the tire, which then transfers itself to the brakes. So you have these here to kind of help keep the brakes cool. A little information about the kit, 141 pieces. And the original kit of this was out, I think I said it already, but I think the original kit was out in 1993. So again, this could be an original or it could be just an official re-release or restock of the same kit. Anyway, all right, let's get to see what's inside this kit. Now, I've done a couple of the Hasegawa kits and I really like them. A lot of detail to them and they seem to go together pretty good. So let's see what we can see about this one. Not quite sure what's going on here, but it looks like, I'm going to move this box. Just makes the detail easier to deal with. We have a little instruction sheet. It's probably telling you how to cut the mud flaps. Oh, it's telling you how to do tire decals. Like a general tips sheet. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, look at this. There is a set of metal detail parts. We got some pedals in there. We have some, looks like seatbelt parts. Actually, all those are seatbelt parts. A grill, perhaps, of some sort. I can't tell what that is. That could be, we'll have to look it up in the manual, but this could be like the foot plate for the passenger or driver. We have the glass. Can't really tell what all that is. Looks like taillights, main window, probably headlights, side markers. And then the kind of flexible material for the mud flaps. Looks like you cut it out yourself. There's probably going to be, in the manual, there's probably going to be like a diorama and you set the piece down and cut it out. And then it tells you how to glue it on in place. But that's what that is. They could have just given us some red or some molded parts, which would have looked cool, but this is actually kind of neat. A little more model-y too. All right, let's just go straight to the body. Did I not cut that? Sometimes the plastic bag wins the battle. But we will win the war. Maybe. Holy cow. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so here is the Lancia Delta body. Good detail in the front here. Doors, side markers, molding along the back window area. Your fuel tank, fuel cell, perhaps filler there. Tow hook. Mounts for the rear wing. And kind of the flared fenders you can kind of see there. I always thought one of these, oh, look at that. There's some good detail there. You can see right through those vents there. I always thought having one of these for the street would be rad. All right, now for the massive bag of parts. Okay. Make sure there's nothing in the bottom of the bag. All right. First thing we have is grill. The aero discs looks like for the front. Yep. Perhaps I can't tell what those are. Bodywork, steering wheel, wipers, rear view mirror. Roll cage, looks like the exhaust, front end roll bar, perhaps the steering linkage, side mirrors, maybe the roof panel, the intake of the roof panel, more steering linkage here. This may be front drive axle. Two sets of wheels. It looks like there's more. So I'll have to see in the instruction manuals which wheels to use. But those are kind of standard Lancia wheels, rally wheels. Nice movement on those. Your interior bucket with some of the safety equipment already in there. Door panels are sparse as they should be. It is a rally car. Your brakes, more wipers, steering column, maybe. Could be. Your racing seats. I don't see any detail in them, so you're going to have to put your own seatbelts in there, which we had the metal seatbelt part, so I'm sure there's somewhere in here. Oh, maybe that's what the other red is here. You can cut these, maybe cut this into strips for your seatbelts. Because the darker red is probably used for the mud flaps. This is used for the seatbelts. Your dashboard, another steering wheel. This looks like a standard steering wheel from a road car. And then some other bits and pieces here. All right. Oh, wow, look at that. The chassis is a completely different color with only a bit of engine. That's too bad. Wonder why they did it in a different color. But doesn't matter. We're going to repaint it all anyway and then detail the engine as much as we can from the bottom side of the car. And then we have different wheels. So maybe the aero discs work with these wheels. They do seem a little more flat, so the aero disc would work. These are a little more kind of raised. Of course, it does have that rim there, so maybe, I don't know. We'll look at the instruction manual. Front and rear struts, driveline, suspension, suspension. Okay. I'm not gonna, well, okay, it's fine. I think it'll be fine. I wasn't gonna cut it up because I didn't want to lose any parts out of here. But I don't think I'll lose these. These are the little push pills for the wheels. When you get everything assembled, these little pins there push into these that are captured inside the suspension. That's what allows the wheels to roll. And then your soft tires. They are slick tires, which leads me to believe that you're building the rally version of the car that raced on street circuit. No molding on, or no lettering on the side of the tire, so maybe that's in the instruction manual or in the decal sheet. Okay, and now the decal sheet. Yeah, we need to kind of take it out here, I think. So this is the popular, oh, what's this? Here for the tires. Yeah, for the tires. We have the decal sheet for the tires. Michelin's on there. I think it's Michelin. Okay. And then the Martini Racing livery. I'll be using number 3. So there are your seatbelt stickers. Not quite sure what those are for. All the gauges on the dashboard, drivers, and then your fine array of rally stickers. All right. And then finally, the manual for the kit. You have your paint guide here. See, it's racing on tarmac, so you're probably going to be using those on, well, I don't know. It'll tell us in here. So you have your interior build, followed by your interior build into the chassis, suspension, wheels and tires. It only shows these at the moment, but there's stickers on the tires. Body set, cutting out the mud flaps, sticking the mud flaps on, all the detail to the back of the car. Detail to the front of the car, detail to the top of the car, and then, see, it does show these on the first set of wheels. So perhaps maybe doing some research to see what the other wheels are for. Maybe they just molded in the wheels for different versions of the car. You can use whatever wheel you want, but if you want to use the aero disc, you probably need to use those wheels because that's what they're designed for. And then your decal. That's a lot of decals. But your decal guide. All right, so there you go. Everything that comes in Hasegawa's Lancia Super Delta 1992 WRC makes champion model kit.